Quiet. Hey guys, it's me. I'm back, and apparently someone is harassing my dogs already. Anyway, we are here to finish up this set of jewelry. I got a bunch more done yesterday. I just was working in between doing stuff, so I never did pull the camera back on. So this is how I ended up getting these together. That worked perfectly fine, just baking this on the tile. Um, Everything came out real good. It's got a nice little bit of flexibility to it like it should, but all the seams feel pretty solid. And then I put that's on like a 6 or a 7 or something. I just put one more layer on the back so that I have clean seams across the back, and baked it again. And then I put just little tubes. And what I do is I just grab a little piece of paper and roll it up into a tiny little bit, and I stick it in the tube, and then I smear all the edges down, and then I textured it to all match. So, and then I had to take the rounded ends off my, but that still fit through my tubes. So, oh, they're being crazy today. They know I'm packing boxes to head up to that wedding. So, yeah, so that's where that's at. And then I got these hung too. And it's just, I've done, built these a few times in videos. So you guys have had a chance to see me build them. Those are my homemade ear hangers, and I like them because I do the ring big enough that this can really move around on it. So it's got nice movement to it, and it doesn't tend to get hung up. Every so often they'll get flipped, but it's kind of a rare thing. But otherwise, most things are too tight, and I don't like the double and triple, rings on them, to like put one around here and then one to match and connect it to the purchased ear wires. Because the only place this has to fail is just there, and you'd really have to yank it open to get that to fail. So, yeah, it's better than having jump rings that can let go of each other. So that's those two. That's that set. This guy came out of the oven baked. Again, I don't know what it is, but just something about it I find really pretty. I don't know. Not sure why, but it's just the balance of the way that all came out. I still want to put a backing on it because, so I'll get to that later. I'm gonna chuck that into a pile of other stuff. Oh wait, why are some of those in there? Hold on, I thought these were in with the beads. I'm so confused. Is that the beads? No, that's the other bin. I think I showed you guys that. That's how that came out. I still like that a lot too. And then yeah, where did my bin of beads go? Because I'm gonna need that to finish this project. I don't know. I stuck it somewhere over here. Ah, that's where it is. Okay. Not sure why those are separated from these. I confuse myself sometimes. Anyway, yeah, all right. Yeah. So that's that jewelry set. So that is all done and now wearable, and it matches my dress beautifully, and the shape matches the dress beautifully. So I'm super happy about that. Now I have to remember to pack it. That's always the problem. Okay, and then so the rest of this project was, that's just cool. I like the way that came out. So it was all these little beads. So there's some of our bigger tube beads. They're all pretty good size hole, but nothing too huge on the whole department. This came out really neat too. Remember, we kind of make that waisted. I'm almost wondering if that would make a cute bracelet charm. I ended up cutting up the rest of that one log that we were messing with, and those are the beads that came from it. There's still more, I think, in my little stash in here too. Yeah, there's a whole pile of those. So that would make kind of a cute bracelet. I'll just have to figure out what to connect. It needs at least one more type of bead in there, so I might use these. I have a set of brown ones that I just drilled out, so I might use those, or I just might use something metal. Put those away. We've taken a peek at these guys. These came out really pretty. I did get them sanded, so we don't have that shine on this here, on the backing. So that came out really good. I still need to drill them. So I could have pressed them together a little better, but I think they'll hold up just fine. Most of them are good. So I might go look through those. I've got extras, so I'll look through those and pick. And then this was the swirly cane that we did. Cane, log, whatever you want to call it. I guess log is the right thing to call it. That's that swirly log that we did. There's a few more of those, I think. That might, no, there's a few more. No, that's not that. I don't know. There might be a few more of those, or that might be all of them. And then these guys were those really busy little logs that we did with just all the scrappy scraps and the really cut up little scraps. And like I said, somehow these end up being some of my favorites typically because they're just full of all the colors, full of some of the patterning, everything's abstract, and I love the way they come out. So yeah, and I think some point recently I've shown you how I make those beads, but basically you just take clay, roll it up, stick a log through it to get your hole in the middle, roll it again, stick it back on the thing and throw it in the oven. And then I've got these guys now. Let me put that away. Currently need that. So this is, again, just roll up little beads. Once they get this small, I struggle with piercing them and getting them to hold up and then putting them back into shape and then into the oven. Sometimes I find it's easier just to drill after. So what we're playing with today for that is, and I will probably have to, I'm sure you guys will ask, I will probably have to find you a link for this guy. But my man found me this, and it's on Amazon. I can't remember how much it was. I think he ordered it for me. But it essentially is a tiny little drill press, and it's the awesomest thing ever, and I use it all the time. So let's see where we can set this where you can mostly see what I'm doing. Maybe the side. I might have to whoop, put something under the feet so you can see where we're lining up. I'll figure it out. Okay, but so that's drill press. And then the other thing I have, and again, I'm gonna have to put these on the website, I guess. Yeah, so bead driller, holier, guidey things. I find it works the best if it's a little bit of a snug fit, so it actually presses them in. And I'm gonna try to get mostly the same size so they've all got a little bit of tension on them. If they don't have a little tension, then they spin and then they mark themselves up in this thing. So it's not absolute perfection, but it's pretty darn helpful. And then I have pegs to line it up. Pay attention to which line it is that we're going to drill. And just give it a little nice little press. And each of these little holes, obviously the drill can drill past, drill through the holes and make the holes bigger or misshape them. So you just have to be a little aware. And that's where the drill press is really nice because it's just going to go straight down, straight up. So turning that on. Hopefully it's not too loud. Yeah, it doesn't look like it's showing up on the audio. And just go through. This is when you know you've got your clay cooked well, is you get these nice little spirals. Make sure, so rather than dust and mess, you end up with a bunch of little spirals. And that's when you know you did a good job. All right, we need to do 4 more. So when you feel it just go straight in and you don't feel any hang up, it's usually working great. If you feel it hang up, then a lot of times it has made a mess out of one of my beads. So there we go. So yeah, those guys are all fitting there nice and snugly, and I didn't get too much spinning, so they held up really well. I'm glad I did the brown ones first. So this is that purpley, blacky, bronzy color. Yeah, so now I've got a pile of moderately well-shaped, because I hand-shaped them, and well-drilled, and I can buff them up in a minute. I'll show you how I do that. So I need another container. We still happen to be sitting around, so that'll work for now. And they do make quite a little mess of scraps. There we go. Blowing on things is usually the quickest way to get rid of mess. It's a tip that comes from dog grooming, I think. Always blowing on everything. Okay, and here we go again. Let's run through all these real quick. Oh, so that one might be fun. I got all hung up. Alrighty. Probably was that one. I'll you guys out. Keep that clean. Around just to knock off whatever little scraps and spits are on them. Everybody looks good. I'm still stuck on the. There we go. I got it. Yep. You have one too. A little tail. Ah, don't go running away. It's really funny is how well trained my dogs are to leave my falling projects alone. And finally, at the point, I drop stuff on the floor, and they just don't react anymore. They're like, "She's not gonna let us have that." They're such good babies. All right, pour more tension on it so it holds it in place, so we don't get any spinach. Alrighty. Sometimes they stick to the top, not the bottom. All right, 2, 3, and 4. Every little scraps and dust off of them. All right, and now for these guys. I think that's the right size for them. Oh no, I did feel something hit the floor. Where did that go? Ah. Oh, it's lost. Oh, there it is. Yay! All right, back to working. Boop, boop, boop. These up more carefully. One more. And long line. Again, try to just get a little tension so we get a clean drill. I might have spun. That was probably a little smaller than the rest of these. That. We got to there. Go backwards this time just to make sure I don't miss my count. All right. Messes everywhere. You guys, so that's the one that spun. You can kind of see it got a little dusty around the mouth, so that kind of scratched it up a little bit. Oh, don't leave. Gotcha. Sneaky little devil. Alrighty. Let's try to get all of those in the hand and release the dust. Yeah, so that's the one that spun around a little bit. It's just a little scratched on both ends, so it is what it is. All right. Oh, last set of these. Actually put things away. Oh, you know what? I haven't posted. Let me go ahead and update you guys on YouTube or on Facebook. Share newsfeed. Oh, no, not that. Share. There we go. Okay. We got posted up in here. There we go. All right. So now for the last set of these, pretty sure it was that size. The one I used. And one ran away. There we go. And not those last 3. I didn't do that one. All of you drilled. Don't go too far. Thinking this one might have gotten missed. That one, oh, no, it does have a hole. Okay. Oop. I didn't think it would have stuck to the top if it hadn't been drilled, but okie dokie. So, are done with this for now. And done with this for now. And plug you, not easily enough. There. do believe he found that on Amazon. Just small drill press would be what I would search for it. And yeah, mess everywhere. Just contain yourselves. The little spirals. Garbage. Okay. Should be good to go back down. Alrighty, so now next game is decide what we want to do as far as I'm gonna actually bring at least one of these earrings back over just to have the visual. Oh, that's what we're just gonna drill press is these two. Whatever, I might get back to that. We don't need to build those right now. So I definitely think I want to build out these into a bracelet. Let's grab that one's not as visually appealing. It's got a good flower on it. It's got a good half a flower on it. Decent. Shorty with almost a flower. Yeah, there's a bit of a flower in that. Okay. So that's all of those. You're kind of a long shape, but not supposed to be. Should have been round. All right, and then I'm going to trying to think. I have so many little. I know what I can do. So many little containers and things laying around. It gets so hard to remember what's what. But yeah, I just want to be able to organize these in a way so that it's easier to search through what's what. So we need to get all of these guys separated. So all these busy white ones go together. These are drawers from these little iris stuff holders. I think it's, yeah, an iris drawer set. Iris is the brand. Let's make lots of plasticky containers. But anyway, so yeah, that's I got a handful of those laying around. All right, and then the other style we have are these swirly lined ones. Not in there. That's a fat one of those. And then these guys are kind of their own thing. And they kind of match up with that. I think you're one of those. And then all the rest of these are all these heavier white ones. And then those guys. Okay. I feel like that's one bracelet set. Or two bracelet sets, I should say. We've got these. These are kind of odd. And a little mismatched from the rest of this. Actually, I'm going to put them over here because they're very obviously not these. And they blend in with those too much. So, okay. So now we have a little organization to what we had to work with. Kind of like a double, triple, a couple stacked bracelets together. Is kind of fun to do. And let's see, I usually like about 7 to 7.5 inches. This tile is 8 inches. So we can line it up with a line and get you guys centered on the video. Nope, I can't get that all the way in there either. Okay, so we'll probably have to go, we can just go wide instead of long. Just trying to use that tile to give us a guide. I think the tile is about 8 inches. We only need to go about 7, so that's sitting. All right, so that's 10, 9, 8, 7. Wait. So I want 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.5 plus. Okay, so as long as I stop about there, that's my 7-inch mark. So end to end. So that'll give me something. So let's just go through these and see how long these are. And those two are kind of weird compared to the rest. I'm going to put the rest of these weird ones in with that end for the moment. I usually go to baggies once it becomes permanent storage for those, but just to get stuff out of my way. A lot of times I'll just set them like that. All right, so we want to go to about there maybe. So we could almost do this if we just use those big fat beads. It's a little weird to not have anything separating them, but we might string that up and see how that turns out. Those are pretty and little, but to be honest, those kind of go with those. Yeah, those are all kind of a little on the smaller scale, so it looks like that is actually I'm going to call this a set in its own right, to be honest. Because at this point, you could go like that and like that. And then, yeah. And then that would need a good bit of beads between. Don't leave. Nope, stay put. Oh, poor bored big dog. Here's me dropping stuff and he wants to help. Or maybe Amazon's at the door. Okay, so that's how much short that is. So we'd still have to put some little beads in between on that. That might actually work too. So we'll see. Thinking that might be, I don't know. I kind of feel like it needs to be a little longer, but could technically add you in there if I needed that little bit more length. Not sure if I love those as the dividing factor on there. And then, are there enough of these just to make one? No running off. Stay put. Ah! I feel like there would be. Appears as though there's plenty of those to make a 7-inch run. Ah! And then some. Okay. You kind of go with those, sort of. You're kind of your own weird thing. I like these better in here. Almost. I think actually I kind of do. Okay. I'm getting somewhere with this. Eeny, meeny, miny, mowing. All right. And then, I would say the little guys. I'm pretty sure if we do that, we can get ourselves up to plenty of length. Pop one of those in between each of these. And one at the end. Okay. And then on these, I still kind of want to think that that needs something to separate, but I don't know. If it does, it's going to be the big fat ones. And I think that'll do it. Alrighty. There's that for now. And then I'm pretty sure I do want to do this. I don't know if any of these are better than another. They're all just kind of fun and heck abstracted. So this line to that line. So definitely need stuff in between. Did I have? No, I don't have anything longer. That one's got a floral look to it. Okay, stick with that. And then those also, I think, would need to be separated out. I think no. I think the big ones on these two. All right. And the next question I have is I'm not sure if these holes are big enough for my favorite cheapy cord. It's definitely plenty long enough. Okay. And technically, these can almost make their own. They would definitely need to be separated by something else too, which I do these. Hey, no, no running off. Stay. Can you even see it? Oh, you can't quite see what I'm doing. Lost my spacing. No, stay. Alright, I was laying these guys out with those. I think my camera ended up moved from yesterday. I was able to work a little bit closer to myself yesterday. There we go. Okay. So there, the smallest of them. The stripy ones are so nice and fat. It's kind of cute to put the busy little and overly whited beads. Smallest of them. So we do a little size changing, and yeah, it's pretty cute. Actually, I like you. You're interesting. Okay. So that might work. All right. Next is question. Yeah, it doesn't need to go anywhere. And I still have a pile of those. All of those can go away. They get put away. All right. So one of the easiest things I found to use is cheapy Dollar Tree. They call it stretch lace. Yeah, it's got good bit of boing to it, and I usually just run it twice through, and it seems to hold a knot pretty well. One of the things I do always do is knock the coffee over and find where I put my trusty lighter. Is play with fire for a sec and just kind of catch the end, and then once it's had a chance to sort of cool, I usually spin it to try to make sure it's pointy. And question number one is, I don't think it's gonna fly. Oh, wait. Okay, so that will definitely only get us once through on those. Stumpy Dremel, pretty sure. Yeah, that's a little bit. Come on, you can do it. That's why we don't want to try to do them by hand. Definitely work better to start it from in there. Come on, you can do it. All right. Ooh. Now the question is, throw it red. Okay, it will, but I think we'll only get through once. Let me see. Sometimes if you pull the thread tight, you can open the hole back out again. If it's possible to get through a second time. Nope. And so these are going to be once through. Okay, let me meander on that in the back of my mind. We'll just start here and see how many of these makes about 7 inches and change, and just double check what my measurement is. So like what I'm wearing now, that's a nice fit. Whoop. So in half is exactly 3.5 inches. So it looks like I want to aim for about 7. I thought that's what I remembered, but all right, so make sure we're just going back and forth. Ooh, catch it? Nope, it didn't catch it. We have another runaway. Oh man. Where'd it go? Oh wait, it fell on a ledge. It must have bounced. Okay, you stay put. You're running off. I need like a ledge on the front of my table to keep things from sliding. Actually, what I really need to do is design out one of those bead tray things for making beaded stuff so stuff stays put. And I can make it where I can mark the length that I want out of it too. I'm going to have to work on that. I might have some downtime to design while I'm up in the mountains, so we'll see how that goes. Won't be able to print anything, but I can design stuff. Ah, nope, come back. Nope, 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 nope. Come here. Thank you. Go that way. I'm just going to go and throw all of these on and check the measurement. Okay. So here, that is actually exactly 7 inches. So, roll you guys all upward. I think I can keep you all somewhat remembered. Alrighty. So then what I do is I run through the hole a second time. Just stack them all on all over again. Anything gives me trouble, I do that trick where I pull the elastic that's already through it tighter, and it exposes more of the hole, so it makes it easier to get the string through. I usually end up just leaving it sitting on its cord holder or whatever, like wherever it came from. That way I don't have to worry about the second end. It just can keep running, and I don't have to worry about doing the math to figure out exactly how big I want to make it. Because, eek, if I do that, then I have to do math, and I don't want to. So I just play with it until I get it right, and then I kind of pull it where I want it for tension, and tie the knot, and then cut the other end off. And that way I'm only wasting whatever cuts off this end, and whatever I don't use off the other end stays on the roll. So as long as I don't need access to both ends of my cord, I find this to be the easiest way to do this. And like I said, this is elastic from Dollar Tree, which you get a decent bit of it for, what, $1.50 now or whatever it is. And that's what these are on. And actually, these are only single layer of it too, and it's been holding up fine. I did something more recently that I did a double layer on, and I like it a little bit better with the double up layer. Oh, it was the big hole beads over there. That's plenty of room. I'm probably just gonna have to single layer it for these guys. Okay. Uh-oh. There you go. Don't get hung up. Damn your bead. Come here, bead. Okay. Now we're at the end of that, so I will, now I've got a whole bunch of extra. I want to pull it all back from the end that's coming from there. So I'm going to hold this. I'm going to kind of turn them this direction so they come closer to this. Make sure I keep a good hold on that. I'm just going to kind of pull and tighten, pull and tighten, pull and tighten, let it relax, keep a hold on that. So that's like that. If I slide that in, it's about right. Might be an occasional light gap, but that's about exactly how I like that. Okay. So then to tie it off, I'm going to do a single knot. Just once over, and then go over and through. Catch, no, it didn't. Hold on. Hold on. Stop spinning. Don't be cray cray. There. Over and through. Come on. Come on. Over and through. And then I'm going to do that once more. So I want it to loop through its hole twice. So it makes double loop around. And then pull very tight from the top. Pull very tight from the bottom. And I don't know why doubling it like that does better than just double knotting, but it seems to. So now I need my little snippers. And like I said, all my excess length is still there, and then I am going to very carefully pull all the cordage out so that I have some distance on that. Bring the ends of that just so that they don't come back in gray. And it has a half second to cool down so it doesn't stick to my skin. There we go. So that's that. Like I said, I like it a little better with the double corded tension. These ones, if I get really mad about something, they fling off my wrist. So, and I think when you have the double thickness, there's just, it just springs back a little better. So this just has more looseness where this has just a little bit more tension to it. So yeah, all right, there's one of those. Okay, so we decided we're gonna need to drill these out further. And probably need to figure out what I'm working with here again. Okay, so it was these guys. I really am surprised how much I like the way this came out because I didn't love it in the logs. It was just so thick and heavy, and I didn't love it in the original patterning because it was so stinking thick and heavy. But in beads, the bulk of it just looks, I don't know, it looks kind of native. It's just really prettier than I would have expected to like. I don't know. All right, so I need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Started ahead. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay. Let's drill out. One of these already is drilled. I think it's you. Yeah, that's the one that's already drilled. So sometimes too, you can just get the hole to open up a little bit by just running it up and down a drill bit. So I'm going to start there. And then I'm going to turn it on from in there. And the speed. Again, just a simple little handheld Dremel tool, drill tool that I found off Amazon. Okay, one's drilled out more. You. Beware that drill bit gets hot once it's run. Okay. Next. Better. Come on. You know you want to. Extremely inexpensive little Dremel. Okay. Halfway done. Ah, nope, turn it off. Do not try to put it on while the drill is moving. It will get flung. I do not have that much skill. Alrighty. Whoop. Come on, nope. There you go. Come on. Ah! No, you want to drill it. Come on. My hand's cramping up, so I need to swap. Sucks getting old, doesn't it? Eyesight starts going, hands start cramping. Don't have the same physical quickness you did when you were younger. I mean, I'd catch these things if they started falling when I was a youngster. Now I have to go half blind looking around the floor to find things that I can't see. With a body that doesn't want to bend over. It's so not fair. But I guess you can't trade, yeah, the wisdom that comes with it is kind of nice. I wouldn't trade it in, but oh man, you really don't want to give. Come on. Come on. Come on, come on, come on, come on. You know you want to. There we go. Like it starts squealing when it's actually working. All right. Down a couple times. Put it up. There we go. Ah. Maybe that is the trick to it, is loosen it up a little bit before you turn it on. Okay. So I think we have right number. We're going to do this with one layer of tension just because, A, I'm running out of brown anyway. I can use black. I could use white, but since we're so off-white, I couldn't use white with this because I think there's a lot of gold in that white, and I'm not sure why. But anyway, yeah, I wouldn't use the white with that. So now, where is my needle tool? Another good way to do this. Just make sure that my hole's clear. If I can find it. Again, going blind. I actually do have a set of reading glasses sitting nearby too. I should totally pull this out, but I never do. Mid 40s. Yeah, soon enough I will have to. It's through once nicely, but I'm not going to be able to do my doubled up version, so it just is what it is. I might just run this a tiny bit tighter than usual. I'm going to get swallowed up by that. Oh, I didn't have to use the purple. I could use the brown for this, but it's okay. Oh, nope, a little small enough on that that the bead stays out. Perfect. Alrighty, and that is actually 8.5 inches. Up. I need to do that anyway, probably. All right, so it's 2 off. That brings it to 7.5 inches. And so it's a little bit loose, so I'm definitely going to have to pull these nice and snug. The only thing I could do is maybe swap this for that one because it's a tiny bit smaller. Might be worth doing. Oh, that's all the way on that end. And I could swap this one for that one. It's smaller. There we go. I think that was all the smallest of them. So, or the other option is take that guy off and make it all just beads. But I think I like that. I think I want to keep that on there. It's almost never gonna. I mean, the likelihood of having the luck that it sits that end up regularly is a really slim hope. But all right, I'm gonna try this one more time. Really pull that tight on that bead. You know you want to. No, I don't think it's gonna go. Where'd needle tool go? Needle tool fit. Needle tool fits. Just sticky right there. Right there. Putting it on a needle, it wouldn't help us any because that would require it to double back on itself. But because it's burnt, I want to get really, really, really determined. I might be able to stabby it. Yeah, it doesn't want to stabby. No stabbing for you. I think this would be totally stabbable. Really should be stabbable. Right up at that end. Push it through from behind if I can get a needle into it. Finer needle? Maybe. Finer needle might actually poke all the way through it though. Oh, let's see. Still have it. As tight as I possibly can. And stab it through. Let's see. it works all the way around. Or if I'm gonna end up getting mad and checking this bracelet. All right, let's get a little more length here. At this point, I'm gonna go ahead and pull most of my length through, make sure I have plenty, because that's gonna be snug enough that trying to get extra once I get down to that end is gonna be a little harder. So there we go. That's plenty to go around. Okay, well, let's see if I can do this multiple times. Maybe I should have drilled those out even more. Oh well. I hope that was the loosest one, not the tightest one. All right, so how did I get this to work? As we held this sideways so we could see what we were stabbing. Just behind the head, and like I said, because it is fired, come on, you know you want to. You know you want to. Stabbing things is fun. Come on, needle tool. And just so anyone knows, this is one of the nozzle cleaning needles that I sell with my roller rollers. So if anybody wants a tiny needle that can kind of get away with this, that's what it is. You can find them on Amazon in a multi-pack, or if you get any roller rollers from me, it's the same one. And I like it. I like to just essentially start making a bead, stab a needle through it, and bake it on so that the needle has A, something to find it by, and B, something to give you better grip on it. Makes it easier to work with. Oh, come on, you picked up something. It's not quite that head. There you go. Gently. And we stabby stabby. Oh, come on. Come on. Come on, come on. Quite get that lined up on the hole as well. Okay. I'm thinking A. Just want to poke the hole and make sure. I don't really want to put the drill bit through the hole because I don't want to take a chance of it deciding to cut my cord. That went all the way through. Might have to reburn this a few times too. Okay, now the hole is technically big enough, and now I have a better grip on that stabby. Oh, gotcha. At least it's not so many of those. Those, if I try to do it, we're going to have to drill them bigger because this is absurd. So again, back to the if any of you make this stuff, don't be afraid to charge plenty because holy smokes, there's so much time consumed by the making of things. Anyone who wants to buy this kind of handmade stuff, give your crafters a break and pay them. Don't grief them over their prices. If you want cool handmade stuff that is not store-bought, Temu made, available to the masses, one of a kind of stuff, and you want artists to be able to continue to create stuff for you, just pay them. Find some money, buy less often, buy less Temu stuff, and support people who are actually really artists making things unique and interesting instead of playing along with the masses. That bead is tight, I think. Yeah, might press it out a little bit. Okay, come on, you can make it all the way around. We're like almost halfway. Be sad to lose it at the halfway point and have to give up and backtrack. I might just have to reburn this, might be what's going on. I'll probably start with a fresh cut if I do that. Ah, all right. I think I'm going to give in to fresh cutting that. Ball. Make it as pointy as I can. Amazing how quick that cools down. When I do the paracord, it's like it takes forever to cool down. Like really wait a sec, and even then you might burn yourself. Come on. Maybe we can pokey twicey. Push with the other needle. Nope. More burn. Thicker and okay. Don't recommend touching fired things. It will stick to your fingers. It will hurt. Could burn yourself. Be aware. This is not recommended technique. This is just me being annoyed and determined. And I definitely don't recommend trying this at home. Stop poking through. We were doing so good on that first burn. Come on, you can do it. And also be aware not to stab yourself. Right into the body. Aww. Oh my goodness. Okay, what point am I gonna give up and just accept my fate? Or unstring the whole thing and redrill my beads? That'd be the smart thing to do, wouldn't it? I'm sure somewhere in some kit I have a fatter drill bit. I'm not sure where that kit is though, so I am being stubborn. Okay. Drill bit kit that I know where it is. I'm pretty sure it doesn't have as thick. Oh, yay! As thick a drill as that. So I don't know. I'm trying to think where I might have hid that from myself. Oh, actually, I see a bunch of drill bits sitting on my little stand here. Don't know if they'll fit in that, but they might fit in the. Oh, they might fit in the Dremel. Got you good that time. Stay put. You can do this. You know you want to. Yay! Get there, guys. Two left. Only two left. You should go through there. Fine. Come on. You know you want to. That's got the big old hole. There we go. Okay, fingers crossed. Almost done. Aww. Not stabbed as well as I thought. Not through. In. In. Nope. Not in my finger. Come on. Stabby, stabby. Nope. Nope. Maybe. Nope. Nope. Like having to thread a needle for every single thing you put through it. Only harder. Maybe. I think it's pokey through, but still might do it. Nope. It's all the way through. Let's add a little fire. Just seal up a little bit better. Two more beads. That's all we got to get through. You could do it. Fired it good enough now. It doesn't want to stab so close to the end. So maybe if we start further back. Come on. Yep, I think I fired too much. Might be able to figure out the technique to make that work, but I want to. Maybe if you fired enough of it, it would make it firm enough that it pushed through no matter what. Maybe. I don't think so. Want to just catch it? Nope. Okay. Back to the stabby method. Oh, caught. Caught good that time. I feel like it's kind of like fishing. No, it went through. It's like waiting and waiting and trying and teasing until you get that perfect little bite. I don't fish very often. I don't have that kind of patience. What if I stab it through with something bigger? Push it. Pushing it all. Oh my gosh, come on. Oh, that worked. Okay. If I can get it in, I can use the bigger one to push it through. Good to know. Here. Get you in just enough to get started. Big stabby might push you through. I only got lucky the once, huh? Oh, there, got it. Okay, well, I think that's the better way to do that. Okay, there. And voila! Yay! Finally! Okay, so don't lose this end. Then on my finger twice. Don't accidentally cut the cord. Why are you even open? You're terrible scissors. Okay, and we need to get some length back out of this. So we're gonna bungee. And let's be honest, I'm not even gonna have to worry about losing that because it's not gonna go. So I want to pull here, here, here. Nope. So that's where I want that at. So now pull there. Tighten up. And pull here. And now hold that. And up. Okay. So I like that tension. It actually does feel just about right. A little loose. A little loose. Oh, those guys are so catchy. All right. I think that tension is about right. We can get enough spread on it. And once we get it tied together, then we can play with it to make sure that it's even tension all the way around. I want it snug, but not over tight. So go tie one regular knot, overhand knot, and then we do that double overhand thing, which is so tricky with elastic. So we want over one, only over one, and then we want through two. Because that's that weirdo huge knot. It seems to hold really well with this. Okay, and then we again pull this outward, so we've got plenty to work with to burn. You guys a little bit away from the knot, so there's an end to burn. Not super far away, just a little far away. And again, I'm going to pull that forward and catch it so that that's held away from me. And I'm going to aim to burn that end back. And then because it's leaning inward, I don't want to burn the thing. I'm going to twist that one outward. Need more distance from my fingers. There we go. And kind of just roll it around until it feels like it's got even tension everywhere. Because the little beads are just going to be very grabby on it. So if it ends up with like little extra spots of length, it just has to do with those beads grabbing a little hard. So you can just kind of play with it. So yeah, definitely want to make sure that the beads are a little freer moving on it. instead of being so determined. But I still like it. I think it's cute. And definitely stacks nicely with the other one. That's the fun part about using a similar or like the same color palette, but just playing with a whole bunch of different designs. I find that makes things makes it way easier to really have some fun. Okay, so this drill bit is huge and doesn't even fit there, and I'm sure it doesn't fit there, so that would have to go on the Dremel. And I think that's way too big. That is in my little stash of Dremel tools. So that is also in a stash of Dremel tools. Let's sand them out slightly, or at least get us started on getting them through there better. That might work. So I wonder how much time I have to spend fiddling with drill. See if I can make it big enough, or if I'm just going to have to go searching for another. Oh, I didn't burn that in, did I? Nope. Definitely preferred to have a little more distance between your fingers and the burner. If this doesn't fit easily, it's going to be sticky anyway, and it's going to cause trouble with my beads. Okay, let me see if I can find one more bit. Way too stuffed full of stuff. That's all sanding stuff. There's oh, there we go. We need this little binlet. All right, stuff, drillable things. So those are teensy little drill bits. Nothing smaller than those drill bits. Sanding style tools. Crazy sanding style tools. Gonna be all Dremel size stuff. And Dremel size stuff. I see something that looks like a nope. Okay. So nope, 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 and nope. Well, that's what I had in my mind. One more thing to check, but I'm pretty sure we'll have the same results. I put those somewhere else. There they are. They are closer to the desk. One of these. These are the expensive Dremel tools. Oh, that one I think is fatter. There we go. Yeah, we're bigger. All right, give me you. Go on there. Okay. So I can use either of these. I think the bigger one is more powerful on these. So this is like a sanding etching set that came with this one. These are, like I said, way more expensive. What's really cool though is these have a drill press thing, but it's not as good as that awesome drill press that my man found for me. So I'm going to, so now here's the issue we're going to come across is we're going to need to stagger these up in size. So it may require all three of these stinking. So what's the size in between? That one in between, will that go in there? Remember, the situation is we can't jam it in unless it can get the drill bit actually in there already. So let's see how this works. So drill bit in and turn you on. Yay! All right, and then one size up. Yep, okay. And you don't want to turn. You may be battery dead. Let's see. Will you? Oh, you're the one with the magnetized. It should be sitting around here. I don't see you. Where's your little? Oh man. Okay, I'm going to have to leave this out. Leave him out. Find his handy dandy charger at some point. So let's see. I guess yeah, he magnetizes on this charger, and I don't see where his charger went. So leave this in my pile of stuff. Find his charger. It used to be just sitting here, but I don't see it plugged in. So all right. Kind of still, like I said, need the 3 sizes maybe. I don't want to have to swap back and forth between drill bits, but I might have to. Let's just see if that made a difference. Probably should stick a needle through that too to make sure it actually clears it up. Stay tight. And what do you go through? You can do it. Yay! Okay, so that's big enough. All right, so this is the game we need to play. I can go back. I don't remember where I found you. Oh, no, not there. There. Okay. So we go from here. Start here. Get these all bigger. Could bring its drill press back over. You know, I wonder if that would be the fastest place to start. Just because of the fact that it is. Don't lose my earring. Already the same size hole that we were starting with. And I'm going to have to just get you guys out of the way and snug these where I can make sure that I'm working on them all. Hopefully I don't lose track of any. And then I need to start in one position and then put them in another one. So we are going to use the original drill press and just kind of, so you can see that's already going to get us further. All right, and this is a heck of a lot more powerful, so it's not as easy, and you don't want to get your fingers hung up around that drill. You don't want to stab yourself with it. Okay, so from there, we can go next size up. Yeah, okay. And then if I swap this out for that, it should be willing to fit it. Don't know where that one came from. Maybe. Oh, you're not big enough for that. Nope. Okay. Everything has its own mechanism for working. It's infuriating. Why won't you close? There you go. You know, maybe that was it. Maybe I didn't get it as wide as it could go because I didn't hold. No, it doesn't go any wider. I know there is another ring set, I believe, for this, so it might have been willing to work with those. But anyway. All right. So this was the one we were working on. Yeah. Definitely a much bigger hole. And that's the one we already. Nope, we didn't do that one. We had already done one, hadn't we? I lost track of that one. Well, we'll probably know it when we find it. Don't want to lose you guys. All right, so oh, this is it. There it is. Said we'd know it when we found it. Little tiny holes. Actually, oh come on, you're the device that drilled that hole in the first place. Come on. So if you get it moving along the drill, that just scratches out the interior, and then you can get it to really loosen up by turning it on. I was able to see what I'm doing mostly. And then same thing here. Take our bigger drill bit and we rotate it on and off, on and off. until you can just pull it in and out, and it's starting to move. And then the drill can spin freely in there. And you can carve it out until it's comfortably bigger. Okay. And off. So, question is, I think it makes it a little bit bigger if we do go ahead and jam it on this one too. Yeah. So what I think I might do is I might drill them all to this one and then swap to this drill bit and go through them one more time to bigger them up. So that's what the plan is. Start here. Now if I had third drill bit charge or third drill charge, then we just do it all in one sitting so I didn't have to keep track of what's been done with what. Okay. Drill. Drill, baby, drill. And next one. Man, it takes a little bit of force to get on there. So, note to self, maybe poke the holes next time. Oh my goodness. We might have to experiment with a little ball of clay and see the difference in ability to poke the holes by hand versus having to do this. Now, I wouldn't want to do the bigger holes with the little kit, because that'll put bigger holes in my little kit thing, my little drilling case. And I want the holes to be well centered, so it's interesting. This one is a forward and back setting. That one just goes slower and then faster and faster and faster. And man, my hands are cramping. All right, so I don't even remember exactly which size beads were for which set. But I guess we'll just get through these. How long have I been on? Ah, it's been another hour again. That is crazy. So yeah, I think this drill is not as powerful as that one is. But because I can usually get these on there without having to turn it off. But come on your drilly thing. There we go. Okay, so less speed, more torque, because this will spin when that one wouldn't, it seems like. So might have to get a man around mansplain it, but that's my understanding. Is torque is the press power, and speed is the spin, and they don't always equalize each other. Some things you need the fast spin up, some things you need the torquiness for. And I'm assuming this drill press has both. Now it does actually have on the power block, I do have it up on a mid power, so I can tap the power up and down. So if I wanted it to spin slower or be a little bit less intense, I can turn it down, which is really nice about it. I still can't believe you found that for me. That thing's amazing. Don't do that. Just turn it off. Where are these little tiny holes? Why am I so stubborn about wearing reading glasses? All We're almost through our pile. Now the question is did we have the pile right or did we lose a bead or two? That's the real question. Mm. Okay, almost done. All right, and this is where ADD starts to strike. I've now figured out one element of this puzzle. So then I start asking questions. And then I have to try them. And this is why I live stream with you guys. For answering questions. So, what if I want to do more than one? Can I do two at a time? Oh, yes, I can. At least there I can. You're on. Visual. All right. Oh. Let's make sure that's on all the way tight. It doesn't like two at a time. All right. Two on this, not on that. Go. And get more of you on there. And on. And spin and spin, spin and spin. I will leave one on there and do you guys one at a time. Yep, much happier with one than two. I don't know which took longer, forcing them through the holes or drilling the holes bigger. Like I said, though, it doesn't work as well with the holes being that snug. The cord gets kind of hung up. I may end up restringing that, but I don't think so. Whoop. Hopefully the last one of these. Big old mess on my desk again. Oh, and then we got to drill through one more time with the bigger drill bit. That should go pretty quick though. It's only slightly larger than this one is. All right. Swap you out. Nope. Yeah, that's enough bigger though. That's definitely worth it. Okay, so that's a 1.9, I would assume millimeter. What is this one? 2.1. Okay, so now we're getting a 2 millimeter hole, that makes sense because most cords are like one-ish or whatever. So that's probably a little under a 1 millimeter cord or about a 1 millimeter cord. Which when it stretches out, it gets a little thinner, but yeah, much quicker when you're close to the right size and you're not trading things out. I just pooped you, so yes. Don't roll back into the other pile. Stay spread out properly. Staying segregated by hole size. No. Stay put. Come on, stab in. Now I need to see if I can find like a 4mm drill bit. When I do my dog show leads, they need at least a 4mm hole to fit paracord twice over. One of these days I'll have to do a video on how I do those and show you guys how to work the paracord and kind of what started me on this insane journey of all of this game. It actually started because I started showing the Papillons and then I started making my own paracord leads because I wanted all the beaded leads and they get expensive to buy them. So I was like, oh, I can make leads. And people make leads out of paracord, so let's learn how to use this. And then I just learned how to do some cord splicing for a camping project, actually. I was working on building out a hammock camping setup. And there was some cord splicing involved that was really cool. So I learned how to do that. And then I kind of turned that over to the paracord stuff. And then buying beads from like Timu and stuff and wherever, it's just like, oh my gosh, it's like I couldn't ever find the right hole size because very few things have that full 4mm hole. So occasionally I can find them at Michael's. Occasionally I find them some places, but it's really hard to find. So I got so frustrated with it that I was like, you know what? I've been playing with resin a little bit. I've been playing with some clay. I can learn to make beads. So I decided I would. And now, like 6 years later, while I was in the process of making the beads, I decided I wanted a little cutter that gave me a little papillon shape because I wanted to do something with that. And that meant I had to learn how to use a 3D printer and I had to learn how to use the 3D modeling stuff. And they didn't have the easy cookie cutter builder apps that they now have. So I'm not going to put this exactly away yet because there's a good chance I don't have the right bead count and I didn't math it. So, whatever. No, I need to clean up the mess. Mess is messy. Shake the mess off the beads. Alrighty. And let's see if I can get this out from under here. Making a bigger mess of the mess. Fold the mess over and shake the mess off. Big mess cleaning brush. This is another find from my man. I love this big old brush. I think he found it on Timu. He was ordering stuff and ordered for himself. I think he was getting stuff to do detailing his car. And he ordered that, and I think it was like a 3-pack, and he was like pulling them out, checking them out with the stuff, and I just stole one. He kind of looked at me. He's like, "Hey, that was mine." I'm like, "You have 3 of them." That's so awesome. So he let me have one. It's very sweet. Okay, give me a mess of beads. So now I don't remember what we did. Okay, so there's a skinnier, weenier version of these, and then there's these, and then that was an extra here with those. So you guys are gonna go over there. I think no, I'm not sure. Yeah, no, you definitely belong over there. So that was that other type, and then I'm thinking it was the little beads on these guys because I don't need to fill up that much space if I remember correctly. I think you needed the bigger ones. Ah, nope, 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 come back. No running off. I put a lot of effort into you guys. All right, so there is 7 inches. Actually, we can just start right here and see what we end up with. Oh, so we've got definitely one too many of these. Okay. And then we got all of these in a line. Let's still a whole nother like inch and a half. So we're still one too many of those. So let's pick favorites. Actually, it might be that you're just off-sized. Actually, you belong in that stash. And you might too. I'm not sure. Okay, so let's try this again. There we go. So now if we start adding a little bead in between, 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 a little bead in between. And now we are at our 7 inches. We have a couple extra of those. Oh no, oh, we'll notice the difference. And then you guys, was it really like this? You stay. So we have like this going on with the big beads. And then we have these little guys. And wait, come back. Actually, those are a little fatter. Let's put you two there. Those little guys. And those little guys. And, or maybe it was all smaller ones. Now if we add those on, yeah, we're pretty much going to be there, aren't we? Actually, kind of technically you don't go because that's a small one. 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. So we could do it like that. Or we could maybe take these out. I'm not sure if I like the small ones there, if we'll want bigger ones there. We could also just go like that. Out the divider beads. What are we thinking? Out the divider beads? Or fewer fat beads and more divider beads? Eek! Come back here. Well, those. Let's swap to divider beads. Maybe snug. Might almost need a short one. And that would do it. And then we have those and those and those and those and those. Come here. A couple of those. That's not quite enough. So I'm going to throw a couple little obscure weird beads in the mix. Enough of those to space out in a way that makes any sense. So I don't mind those, but spacing isn't making any sense. So I could do another series of these little ones to divide these guys out, and that would be very pretty. I don't think, actually, I will have to count that out. Let me see. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, maybe. Let's see. Oh, I do probably have those. We'll just have, I'll have to drill out. So that'll be afterwards. Okay. So you guys are a maybe project. But for right now, we're going to finish this up and then be done. I've already been on here too long. Looks like I have enough round to do at least 1 or 2 more. If I was going to do white, it would be whatever. But yeah, we might have enough round to do both of these. All right. So you should go quicker. Come on. Poke in the hole. Stop being stubborn. There we go. No being stubborn. Just pokey holes. have a handful of other cordage floating around. However, they're a lot harder to tie off on itself. So it's kind of why this is stuck is, again, I like the tension when you double it up, and it's ties into itself really nicely. Knock on wood, I have not had one let go of a knot, where a couple other versions I've used to try to build these kinds of things out, they just don't want to hold up, don't want to hold together. All right, so we're curious on this. That one's a hair loose, but I think if we were to let go of that, it'd be too tight and be missing stuff. So we're keeping that. Second time through. Make sure that there's plenty. Let's see, I guess technically about 14, 15 inches is what it would take to do this twice. So I'll have to see if we have enough to even bother starting with another pile or not. Okay, perfect. That goes right through. Yay! We're winning! That bead wants to jam. Alright, so again, pull it tight so we expose extra hole. And it's right through. Okay, that was worth all the headache of redrilling. So note to self, drill them right the first time. 2 millimeter holes. Is it 2.1 I think we're at? With that last drill bit, and that is definitely much better. Probably can get away with using the white cord on that set. It should be pretty. If it peeks out, it shouldn't be too obnoxious, and that white is closer to white than that just peeks through too much gold. Go ahead. So much faster when you're not fighting with threading the hole. It would be even faster if I could have my overhead light on and I could see a little bit more. But that messes up your guys' vision, so. Alrighty. Now we need to take some length back out from this side. And tighten and pull and stretch and spread and pull and a little. Oop, 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 oop. No. Too much. Ha. Stay with me. Okay, so we're still too long. Get lost. A little out of there. And that's good tension. Okay. So again, once through. Once and then twice. Nope, come on, twice. Yeah. And pull you snug from there. Pull you snug from there. Snug, snug. Perfect. And distance. And snippy, snippy. And close the scissors. And then we light on fire, fire. Up. Ah! Too much fire. Oh no. Let's see how much length we can get out of here. Okay. I got all of that as tight as we can. Retie the knot. Note to self, use much less fire. Oh, crap, this is going to be hard. Okay. We can do this. 1 and 2. Oh, come on. Come on, come on. Nope, 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 nope. Take a breath. Dramatic. twice. No, you didn't. You lied. Come here. You're in. Oh God. I don't even know what I did now. Just let go and restart. Nope, nope, nope. Don't run away. Stay with me. Oh my God. Okay. One way down there. I need to work with up here. So what the tricky thing here is going to be is A, coordinated enough. Tie my double knot. Short, stumpy stumpy ends. One and two. Nope. Two. Now. Nope. You let go, didn't you? You did. You're doing bad things. Stay. Okay. Totally let go. Where's the first one? There we are. Okay. Let's slide it as we can, even though we're going to have to pull it all back the other way in a second. Come on. One and two. Gotcha. Okay. Now, I need to hold you both at this end, and we want to pull this all the way as far this way as we possibly can. Okay, you feel tight there. Now let's grab this side of it and bring you up. And don't know if I'm going to be brave enough to cut those back and fire them again. Yeah, I kind of need to. Okay, I will be brave. As we lost our knot, so we lost a couple, I don't know, a few millimeters. Probably not an inch, but those are starting to stick out. So very carefully tap in the fire and pull away. Tap in the fire and pull away. Faster to blow. Ha. Okay. Yeah, so yeah, we definitely lost a little bit. It's a little snugger getting on, but once it's on, it's a nice fit. Okay. All of those now. That's getting to be quite a pile of bracelets. Make a nice little 2 on one on the other, or 3 on one. That one's, oh yeah, that's just weird. I might have to redo those beads. You just have to make sure you kind of pull it to reset it. Okay. And I have 14 inches of this left. I think so. Oh yeah, I've got like 20 something. Okay. So let's just string up this last one real quick. Using all the little beads. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and come on. 8, 9, and 10. And double check the wrist size. Yep, spot on. And link you down a ways. That's probably way too far. That's what it is. Check out at least 7 inches there. Plus a knot tying amount. Come on, there you go. And 3 and 4. I really like the way this particular set of beads came out. Very nice and boldly patterned, where the flowers actually behaved themselves and turned into flowers. Love that. pokey. Come on, pokey, pokey, pokey through. I know that hole's plenty big. I think the skewers I was building those on were like 2 to 2.5 millimeters, and then I rolled them around a bit, so they definitely finished out bigger than 2 millimeter holes. And at the very minimum, they're at least 2 millimeters, 2.5. So I like that. I think this one's my favorite. Okay, I need to pull all of that back. All of this. Actually, at this point, I could just kind of pull all you guys that direction and pull out from here. Okay. All right. Almost could have used the bigger beads. I'm having a little bit of a sizing thing here because the beads are pokier, like longer, so they don't fold and stay with the shape of my wrist quite the same. So because they sit the center of that, you can see it, sorry guys, the center of that is the cord sits out from my wrist, I think further than some of the other ones do, because those push it straight outward. Where this, they don't push the beads as far, like the small beads, you can tell aren't quite as far away from my wrist as they are on the other one. So, could put bigger beads in there, but I don't want to. I like it better with the small ones, so I'm just going to leave it. It's going to have a little bit of spread on it. Not to mention, I'd have to drill out a whole bunch more big beads, and I don't want to. I think I am content. All right, so I go 1 and 2. Don't get hung up in my thumbnail. Tight, tight. Okay. The bottom and the top. All right, and then stretch you away. I think I do still have enough ground to make another 1 or 2. 1 more, not 2 more. That's good to know. Okay. So snip a little bit of length on the ends. Distance from my fingers. Make sure my ends are pointing away. And blow out fast. Don't burn the knot. Okay. So like that one. That one. I'm going to rebuild that without that one in there so that it's just the little ones, I think. Maybe. I don't know. We'll see. Oh, that's cute. I like that. That ends up being a lot. But split between 2 wrists. I think it's cute too. Yeah, those go together nicely. I love these guys. Yeah, I think this one's my favorite of them, but I like them all. This one needs love. For all that fighting to get those beads on. Now I just want to snip it and rebuild it. Kind of. I like it when it's behaving itself. But now that it's behaving itself, and I like it a lot. So I guess I'll leave it, and it might just have to go on its own wrist. Yeah, that's cute too. I like that as purse. Okay, so yep, let's recap. Got more beads to play with. Oh, just to show you how I do these. Fattest ones are the easiest. And we did bring this back out. I'm not going to try to get these done before the weekend. Put the feet up on this. Can you guys see? Probably. So this will mess with my equilibrium probably. But essentially, because there's a curvature to the shape of this bead, it's not a flat square. It's like that, not square, it's flat. So if I let this press down and press the bead down on this end, it's going to be off square. So I have to kind of acknowledge where centered is on its little boat type shape, its little banana shape. And also front to back square, which might be even harder with this tip sideways. So, but the drill press makes it way easy because it just goes straight up and down. And it did go forward a little bit. So what I can do from here is in, turn it on, and tip the bead back a little bit, and then just stretch the hole into a slightly more centered position. And then if I need to make it enough bigger for that other silly set to work, I could, but I don't usually want to drill it that fat. But I can also just kind of lean the drill frontward or backward to kind of thicken up the hole a little. And I'm going to chop that and see if my normal equilibrium works better. So I let it press it sideways, tip it back upright, turn the drill on, and slowly drill through. And that one's much better. There we go. Those are, yeah, definitely set a little further back, which is nice. But yeah, so that's how I do that. And again, file. Do I have any of those still sitting over here? I had all sorts of different ways I was running those. I would do them sometimes where I would cut the front piece, cut the back piece, and then sandwich them together with a whole set of little cutout pieces. Oh, and then put a trim edge around them. So it was like cutting like 8 different pieces to make, yeah, so these are definitely done that way. So you see how they have a trimmed edge, which is pretty. I do like it. I'm not going to argue. It makes a nice effect. But man, it was a lot of layers. So top piece is thin, cut out, baked. Back piece is thin, cut out and baked. And then I'd put a line of them, cut a line of them, and then I'd cut out where the bead's supposed to go, front and back, and carefully lift them up on a knife, sandwich them between the 2 pieces so that it had clay on the top, clay in the middle, clay on the bottom, and holes running through it. And then smush them all together, clean them up with the needle tool to make sure my hole stayed where I wanted it, and bake them, and then put a trim edge on them, find where that hole is, and pokey it, and do it again. So there was a lot of layers to these. I kind of wish I'd done these with all the metal beads. Oh, this is another type of elastic. I don't remember which it is, but basically I tie a knot in each end of it, not together, just a knot in the end of it on each end. And then these are crimp beads, cover thingies. And if I can catch the knots in them and crimp them shut, then they work great. Sometimes I don't get it crimped tight enough around the knot, and that's what happens. So I'll have to fix this one, which is why I'm not wearing it, because I was wearing this one all the time. Yeah, so, and the other one is still fitting here because I think I'm going to redo those beads because I just don't like the beads with it. They're too, stand out too much. So, yeah. Those are the things to fix and play with, and all the stuff that's just floating around. It's insane how much stuff I have floating around. I think I already showed you guys this, but these were some more Mokume Gane beads I've made. These are coated with the clear Kato poly clay, so the clear liquid polymer clay, and hit up with a heat gun, and that's what gets the shine on them. You can do resin also, but you need to put them on a turner to make sure that they keep spinning while they're curing, which is a royal pain in the butt. So I am so glad I figured out this method because it's so much better. And this was another set that we made together a little while ago, and I did the disc beads for the separators rather than these guys. Yeah, and these came out really pretty, and they've got the little coral hints of little nautilus shells in there. And otherwise, they're just textured, but I love that set. This came out really nice. And then those are wired. That was just a whole another project I was messing with. What else is over here? Oh, there's one more. Yeah, that's made that same way too, where it's edged and those are cut out. Yeah, that's most of what's floating around over here. And these are more of the ones that I've been wearing, these guys. And these are made by making a Skinner blend, a jelly roll with the dark on the outside. And then I just took my little slate, made beads out of them, made, pulled the ends in like we did with some of these, made circle shapes, put them through a skewer, and then I would just knife out divots in it. And that's how I got those. And it took a while to figure out a consistent way to knife them out. Because some of them worked great and some of them didn't. What's fascinating about handmade jewelry is it's kind of fun when nothing works. Things come out really cool. And that's just a Mokume Gane bead, kind of like the other fat one I made. But I actually baked that on something curved, so it would make a very pretty little. And that actually follows the shape of your wrist, so the whole bracelet would fit snug. So that I might turn into something. There's another one, the skinnier version. But yeah, so that's just a bunch of other bead stuff floating around in here. These are cool too. These were a Skinner blend. So end to end to end, those will be really pretty. If I can find the rest of them. That's actually, no, that's not one of them. It's just a scrap. But yeah, there's tons and tons of different ways to do stuff. Oh, and these guys, I still need to do a tutorial on these. I was working on something. Oh no, that's not that. Yeah, I was working on something else, just testing my rollers and ended up pulling some shavings off and I figured out that I could stick shavings to my little plastic that I use, the plastic baggies. So I could put that down first and then shave underneath it and get the shavings to stick up to a little piece of plastic baggie. And that made a really cool set too. So I do like these. I should string these. Put those aside. So maybe I remember to do that sooner than later. Those are cute too, actually. Little fat chunk beads. Made similar to the way we made all these guys, but then I just mushed them between two tiles. Those are cute with the little vine pieces. Oh, so that's a match to that actually. And just this has more brown in it. So I took the segment that had more brown to it for this bracelet. And I think technically I was originally planning on using these as the rest of it, but the just colors didn't come out quite as matched. So, and these were kind of another thing, just playing with textures and stuff, playing with canes, thinking around. Jelly roll canes can be kind of fun. They make cute little cute beads. That's just scrap beads. So yeah, that's piles and piles of beads everywhere. So yeah, we'll show and tell at the end. These I love. These are similar to these guys. In slightly different color. Those I'm sure I'll make a lead out of because those are nice for leads. But anyway, so back to what we actually were working on. This stuff. Oh, and then I've got a pile of beads here too. I forgot all about these. So yeah, a whole nother set with the tealy blue. Remember that was starter to making this. Is I had done these and I was like, oh, that'd be so pretty done like that and like that. And then how do I get them to all connect? And then I was like, what would I wear that to? Because that's really fancier than I wear day to day. Normally I wear just like little pendants day to day. So I was like, that would be really cool. And then I'm like, oh, I've got that wedding coming up. So that's how that ended up happening. How does that look with those earrings? If I backed it the same, I could wear the earrings for the wedding, wherever I lost them. Yeah, if I back that in cream, I can wear that with the earrings. I might do that. Don't mess up the earrings. Okay, the earrings are still good. Okay, one more thing to do before I leave town, right? I love these daisies. Both swirly daisies and this one's swirly daisies. This one I believe is daisies, the same pattern we were using there. That's daisies. Oh, this is. Oh, I don't know if I showed you guys these. Did I? Maybe. I think so. I think you saw them when they were done baking. So that goes with, more or less, goes with this set. Oh yeah, those might be worth backing and finishing out too, huh? Oh, so much to do, never enough time. I have to pack up and get out of town. Can you tell I kind of don't wanna? uh, I love vacations, but I hate leaving home. It's a funny conundrum to have. All right, stop playing and start packing. Alrighty, so yeah, we are done. This was our project. I'm very, 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 very pleased with how this all turned out. And I'm excited to have fancy things to wear that actually match my dress, which I don't do that often enough. I should. But yeah, so I hope you guys have a wonderful, whatever it is, week or two. It'll probably be at least a week or so before I see you all again, because I will be away from my crafting desk. And when I get back, I will be likely crazy catching up on orders. You guys can feel welcome. If you want to support the channel, I need to start saying this. If you want to support the channel at all, ordering from my Etsy shop is the best way to do it. There's links in the description on, at least to my shops. I don't think I have individual links. Like I said, this is Daisy's is this pattern. Yeah, it was all we used this time. But I've got tons and tons and tons of patterns and whatnot. Um, as far as the rollers go, I've explained it a dozen times, but I've got 3 different depths. They're color coded on the depths of them. So things that are lavender are labeled as intricate detail, and they are on an extra large. They are about 2¼ millimeters deep. And as they're scaled down, pattern and the depth gets smaller. As they're scaled up into a jumbo, the pattern and the depth gets a lot bigger. Um, and then so the deep, those aren't the most visual. There we go. It's a better visual representation of deep. So the deep is 3 millimeters deep on an extra large. So you can just see there's more depth there than here. This is a really deep for a intricate, but there we go. Those show the depth really well. So the depth on those leaves, the depth on the crows, that's what a deep impression roller set typically is like. And these flowers up here are like that too. There we go. So just deep and relatively simpler. The intricate stuff tends to have more detail. Let's see, where is my? There we go. This will show you. There we go. So this is more of a typical intricate. Everything's closer. Everything's finer. There's more levels of depth. So I can't Mokume Gane these because you just don't get the. This I could. This I kind of can, but it's snug. This maybe, but there's not a whole lot of space between for details to come up. So these are more texture. They lean the intricate stuff. The lavender stuff tends to lean more to just texturizing, not necessarily doing the slice back. And they also don't typically work as well for stamping. Some of the deep impression doesn't stamp very well, like these kind of don't, but I just wanted them deep enough to really lay in the details. That's going to be really pretty. I haven't played with that enough yet. Where most of the Mokume Gane, like you could stamp crows, you could stamp leaves, you could stamp the outline of leaves. The Monstera, there's a bit more of that high and low dimensionality, but I wanted it to go with the set that I had coming up in the tropical stuff for the deep. So they are in deep. I'm also going to be doing one in intricate. I just haven't gotten it photographed and out yet. Anyway, yeah. And then, so these are small. I don't know if I have any extra large. Oh, I do. There we go. Extra large. These still need to make it on too. So extra large versus a small, small, extra large, jumbo. Jumbos are humongous. Potters love jumbo. I don't recommend it much for polymer clay because they're so thick and deep and huge. This one's cool too. This hasn't made it to the site yet, but I might have some time. I don't know if I'll be able to get to my computer to do much editing and listing, but if I have some downtime while I'm away, that might happen. So isn't that cute? It's got all these funky little cat faces in it. I got a handful of pet-oriented ones that need to make it to the website. But anyway, so yeah, so this one's a misprint. That's why it was sitting nearby because I don't keep jumbos on hand. I print them to order. And I accidentally sent this to the wrong printer, so this printed on lavender instead of blue. This is a deep impression one. Let's see, here it is in small. So the difference in, you guys can see that, the difference in the depth as you size these things up. Let me find that same star. There we go. Pattern gets bigger, the depth gets deeper. So, and remember, this is supposed to be blue. It's not supposed to be pink, purple, lavender. So yeah. But yeah, so that's the jumbo size. And then I'm started doing the double tall size, which is these guys. Actually, that's perfect because that's got a small and then tiny double tall. I also do on the Etsy shop, I only have the small double tall available. I will start listing collections of tiny double tall, and when you get the full collection of, say, what is this, summer flowers, I think is what this one's going to be. It'll have for embossing, for debossing, include the little holder. So I'll have these set up, you know, if it's four, it's got four holder. If it's a, these aren't a set, but if it was three, it's in the three holder. So you'll get the little holder if you order the double sets. So I've got to get that listing worked out so that it's easy to duplicate. And I will get those up eventually too. So that's kind of all the stuff in my head that's supposed to eventually make it to the website. So as the plan is keep getting that stuff updated. Again, that's why I don't sell jewelry because I put so many hours into this. I wouldn't make anywhere near enough money per piece because I get lost in the creation process and it just spirals outward. And then I have hundreds of pieces half finished sitting around, and you guys don't want me to finish stuff because I won't finish the website. So yeah, that's kind of where the shop is at. And I'm checking off for a little while. And I will be back with you guys when I am back in town. And I look forward to hanging out with y'all again. I hope you guys have a wonderful week. And I hope you all keep crafting because it's the best way to keep your sanity while going insane. Anyway, hope y'all have a great one.